Wow, that was absolutely insane. So Daniel Dubois KO'd Anthony Joshua in the fifth round. Anthony Joshua was actually a sizable favorite. I believe he was like a negative 350. It's heavyweight boxing, so anything can happen. A lot of people had Joshua winning. I thought it was a close fight either way. I was slightly leaning Joshua's way, but I could see where Dubois would win. I thought the fight would be very competitive, but Daniel Dubois absolutely destroyed him. In my opinion, the actual factor of the fight was Daniel Dubois' jab. He was able to find the mark on Anthony Joshua. He was landing that jab constantly, and he had Anthony Joshua for most of the fight on the back foot. Joshua was mainly looking to counter Dubois when he entered the pocket with uppercuts or that straight right. At the end of the first round, Dubois had Joshua against the ropes, and Joshua had his chin high, hands low. He had no guard up. Dubois made him pay for that, landed a flush right overhand, hurt him very bad. The round ended, and you could tell that Joshua still wasn't even there. He was on wobbly legs. He was buzzed very bad. And I feel like that changed the fight completely. After that knockdown, Joshua looked very flat. Dubois kept punishing Joshua with jabs. He would lead his blitz with left hooks. Anything he wanted to land on Joshua at that point, I feel like was landing. Joshua on the front foot is very devastating, but on the back foot, Joshua is very vulnerable. His defense is very leaky, and he kept his right hand down for most of this fight, which is very dangerous against a guy like Dubois. In the 50-50 exchanges, Dubois found his left hook, and he was actually able to drop Anthony Joshua badly. And yet again, he had his right hand low. And Dubois was always getting the better of the 50-50 exchanges. A lot of people were saying, how Joshua is the quicker fighter, but although he did look quicker at points, Dubois was just able to find that mark. And he actually showed exceptional head movement for once as well. It wasn't anything, great. He wasn't showing like amazing upper body movement or anything, but there was some jabs at times that Joshua would throw. Dubois would slightly slip to the left or to the right, evading the punch. I thought that was very impressive as well. He was very light on his feet, and he looked ready to go from the beginning. On the stage that they're fighting at, the Wembley Stadium, I thought that, Dubois would be very nervous. And, in the introductions, he looked stoic, just like Joshua as well, but you could tell that Dubois was ready to seize the moment. And as soon as he came out in the first round, he was already guns blazing, putting the pressure on Joshua and had him on the back foot. It's insane to me how powerful Daniel Dubois' jab is. I believe his name is Dave Allen, guys that Dubois has sparred with, stating that, Dubois' jab feels like a straight right hand. It doesn't even feel like a jab. And you could tell in the Joshua fight, he hurt Joshua badly with the jab at many points. He actually dropped Joshua with the jab as well. The shots that he landed after the jab, those were just on the guard. That jab is the shot that hurt Joshua in that knockdown. But overall, he was just punishing Joshua. Even when Joshua actually held the high guard at times, he would land the left hook or the right hooks, and he was just punishing Joshua's guard. It seemed like everything that Dubois landed on Joshua would push him back, and it was very heavy, and he could not handle it. I thought that Joshua would actually be the more physical, imposing guy, but Dubois, in my opinion, looked significantly stronger than Joshua. He ultimately made Joshua pay for moving linear and not taking angles. He was moving in a straight line, and he kept making Joshua pay for that. Joshua never kept the intelligent guard. Only at points he did, and when he did, he was able to evade some punches, but this is heavyweight boxing. You got to have a guard. You have to have some type of guard, especially against Dubois. He could punch. That was just very weird to me. In the fifth round, when Joshua actually has one moment of success, lands a straight right that he's been looking for the whole fight. He catches Dubois with his hands low, straight down the pipe. He actually staggers Dubois. Dubois backs up against the ropes. Anthony Joshua starts letting loose. Dubois actually lands a nice straight right hand, staggers Joshua momentarily. Joshua comes back with the most naked uppercut I've ever seen in a championship fight. No jab to disguise it. Straight naked uppercut. Dubois spots that and throws a beautiful straight right down the pipe and electrocutes Anthony Joshua, puts him away. Joshua could not recover. And honestly, that just shows, Dubois actually has IQ as well and making him pay. Honestly, Dubois looked like the champion in there. Joshua looked like the contender coming up. It was insane. Daniel Dubois is the real deal. It was a great game plan by his coaches, putting Joshua on that back foot, making it, a physical, ugly fight, but establishing your jab when you're at range. Dubois, since he lost to Joe Joyce, he had a few wins, beat Lorena, and then he eventually gets the Usyk fight, loses that. And it still kind of looked like, we didn't know about his heart because in the Usyk fight, it kind of seemed like he quit. But now, he's going on a 3-fight winning streak. He showed his heart, his chin against Hrgovic, cardio. That dude has an engine as well against Miller. He stops him very late in the 12th round. Miller, in my opinion, is not the best fighter. He's like a cupcake, honestly. But overall, he had good wins, and he was showing he does have heart. But those guys are not on the same level as Joshua. And then for this to be his best performance to date against the second best fighter he's ever fought, besides Usyk, is insane to me. And he's only 27 years old. Like, he's still gonna improve. He's still gonna get better. 27 for a heavyweight to be a champion already is amazing. I feel like a lot of these guys, they'll get the belt around like the early 30s. The dude's not even 30 yet, bro. That's wild to me. The UK's next promising heavyweight, Daniel Dubois. Supposedly there's a rematch clause. I don't agree with. I think the next fight for Anthony Joshua should be Deontay Wilder. Now's the perfect time. I feel like, they're at the tail ends of their career. I don't want to see Joshua, I still think Joshua can compete with the best, but I don't want to see him, lose to like a Fisher or something. I don't want to see that. You see Eddie Hearn in the crowd. He looked absolutely devastated. Conor McGregor was there as well. He looked like he didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He's fucking smoking a cigar. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I definitely think Hearn's gonna, cash Joshua out, and I think Wilder is the best option. You shouldn't fight Dubois. The fight was not close at all. He got absolutely dominated. And Dubois is now the second best heavyweight in the world currently.
Champion of the world.
I'm Phil. I'm very Phil.